What the absolute frick is up, gamers? So today's video is completely different than anything that I've ever done on my channel. I'm sure everybody watching this right now at least has heard of League of Legends. Either way though, the creation of Brawl Stars was heavily inspired by League of Legends. I mean, the fact that it's a MOBA and the fact that a lot of the brawlers look heavily inspired from League, and even when League of Legends has a mobile edition, I'm almost certain that it will not pass Brawl Stars because Brawl Stars is basically the top dog of MOBA on mobile. Either way though, as you can tell from the title, we're gonna go through every brawler in Brawl Stars and look at their most similar counterpart in League of Legends. So keep in mind, there's like over 100 champions in League of Legends, and there's around 38 in Brawl Stars. So for every brawler in Brawl Stars, there could be a couple possible champions that are a little bit like them in League of Legends. So I got gameplay of every brawler in Brawl Stars, and then I also got gameplay of their closest counterpart in League of Legends. And I'm gonna talk about what makes them similar, and then I'm also gonna show you guys gameplay right after that. Also, shout out to my friends for helping me make this. They recorded some of the gameplay of League so then it wouldn't take as long, because that definitely took the longest. So whatever links I want, I'll put in the description, so go check those out. And right before we get into it, according to my statistics, apparently a lot of you guys watching my videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you're not, then you gotta fix that and hit the subscribe button. Anyways though, let's get into it. Alright, so starting out, in Brawl Stars we have Shelly, and her closest counterpart in League has to be Graves. Both of them use some kind of shotgun, and both of them have the shotgun effect. And also, Shelly's gadget is a dash, and Graves also has a dash. The only difference with that though is that the dash actually gives Graves some extra ammo, but Graves is actually one of the few champions in League of Legends that has ammo. And then for Shelly's ultimate, you know, she shoots a giant blast of shotgun shells. And then for Graves' ultimate, it's a lot longer range, and it kind of has like a penny effect to it. But at the same time, they both shoot a pretty strong projectile. Alright, so next up we have Nita from Brawl Stars, who is very similar to Annie from League of Legends. And the main point here is that they both throw a bear as their summon. And in League, you can actually control your bear a little bit more, but of course Nita can use her gadget to make her bear slam the ground, which you can't do in League. That's pretty cool. But Annie can, you know, make her bear go to certain spots if she wants to, and she can control a little bit more things in League of Legends. Either way though, the main similarity here is that, you know, they both throw a bear summon. Okay, so next up we have Colt from Brawl Stars, who is very similar to Lucian from League. They both hold two pistols and they shoot them pretty quickly, but for Lucian's basic attack, he only shoots like once or twice, but then his ultimate is a lot similar to Colt's, except it shoots a lot more bullets, but it doesn't pierce. They look really similar, so we're counting that for sure. Alright, so next up we got Bull from Brawl Stars, who is pretty similar to Sion from League, but only in one way. And that way is Bull's super and Sion's ultimate. They both charge a really long distance, but Sion's goes a lot further, and he can kind of turn himself a little bit during it. Bull's can break walls, but Sion's can't. He can just run into things and then it would stop it. And there aren't really any walls to break in League, so, you know, you couldn't break anything anyways. But in general, that's the only thing that makes them too similar, besides, I guess, they're both pretty tanky. But I roll the clip. Alright, so we got Jessie from Brawl Stars, who is pretty similar to Heimerdinger in League of Legends. They both throw a turret down, except that Heimerdinger from League actually throws up to 3 turrets down, but they have less HP, and it isn't his ultimate, so he can get them pretty quickly. And they do less damage, so kind of think of Jessie as a version of Heimerdinger if he only had one turret that was really strong. So next up we have Brock, who is a little bit similar to Tristana from League. In this one, I couldn't really find anybody who is extremely similar to Brock, but Tristana is a longer range champion, and she has a little jump that looks a lot like Brock's gadget, except she can control it a lot more, and it does extra damage on landing, and hers goes a lot further. But I thought that the long range and the jump would make them a bit more similar than anybody else. So now we got Dynamite from Brawl Stars, who is really similar to Ziggs from League of Legends. So first of all, they're both pretty weird in their games, like they're weird characters. But Dynamite throws a bunch of dynamite, and Ziggs throws a bunch of bombs. And Dynamite's super is a giant bomb, and Ziggs' ultimate is a giant bomb. So they're pretty similar. Anyways, roll the clip. Okay, so this one was really tough, and I even considered putting him in the no similarity category. But for Bo from Brawl Stars, I decided to pair him up with Teemo from League. And the only reason is that Bo can throw his super, which is a bunch of mines that are invisible, and Teemo can throw mushroom traps on the ground that are invisible until they hit you. But other than that, they have like no similarities, so I thought that was enough. Alright, so moving on, another one that was kind of shady. So here we got Ems from Brawl Stars compared to Fiddlesticks from League of Legends. And the only similarity here is Ems' super and Fiddlesticks' ultimate. So Ems' super is a circle around here that slows enemies down and damages them. And Fiddlesticks' ultimate is he teleports to a spot and then he gets that circle around him that, I'm not sure if it slows, but it does a lot of damage, which is kind of similar. So next up we have El Primo from Brawl Stars, who is a little bit similar to Set from League of Legends. This one isn't that close like Brock and Tristana, you know, they weren't that similar, but it's the closest I can find. So El Primo punches as his main attack, and Set's basic attacks, you know, they punch, and he can power up his punches with one of his specials. But El Primo's ultimate is like an RKO, and Set's ultimate is a body slam, so I thought that was kind of similar, and the fact that they both punch a lot. So next up we have Rosa from Brawl Stars compared to Ivern from League of Legends. Now the only similarity here is that they can both make bushes. You know, Rosa's gadget can make a bush and one of Ivern's specials can make a bush. Another thing is that I'm pretty sure Ivern gets a little buffed up when he's in bushes, and Rosa's star power can heal her while she's in a bush, so that's a little bit similar. So next up we have Penny from Brawl Stars compared to Miss Fortune from League. And the only similar thing here I could find is Miss Fortune's Q compared to Penny's basic attack. Miss Fortune's Q hits somebody and then it splashes behind them, much like Penny's basic attack. So next up we have Jackie from Brawl Stars compared to Amumu from League of Legends. And I was actually considering putting Jackie in the no similarities category just because this isn't too similar, but it's the closest I could find again. So Jackie's super makes a circle around here that pulls people in a way stuns them because they can't get out of it. And in League, Amumu's ultimate actually makes a circle around him that stuns anybody in the radius. Okay, so now we have Piper from Brawl Stars, who is pretty similar to Caitlyn from League of Legends. And another thing that I found a little bit interesting is that Caitlyn's ultimate locks onto an enemy and shoots them with a really powerful shot. And in a way, you could recreate that in Brawl Stars if you use Piper's other gadget, which makes her attack kind of aim on to people. So I'll take what I can get. I guess that's what makes them the most similar, mainly the part that they're both the snipers of their game. Okay, so now we're comparing Poco from Brawl Stars to Sona from League of Legends. And this one was really tough because there actually aren't that many healers in League of Legends, even though there's so many champions in the game. But there's none like Poco. There's none that can just directly shoot a blast that heals your teammate. There's Soraka in League, but she has to damage herself in order to heal her allies. And that's not very similar, so I decided to not do that. Alright, so comparing Frank from Brawl Stars to Maokai from League of Legends, and the only similarity here is that they're both the tankiest people in their game. That's the only thing. I just wanted to put them together. They have no other similarities, and I couldn't find anybody closer to Frank, so there it is. Alright, next up we got BB from Brawl Stars compared to Ezreal from League of Legends. And again, I couldn't find anybody really close or really similar to BB, so I decided to find one attack from League that was kind of similar to her super. And as you all know, BB's super is definitely the longest range in the game. You could consider it a global attack because I'm pretty sure it's almost the range of a showdown map, and it's definitely the full range of any 3v3 map. So next up we have B from Brawl Stars compared to Jin from League of Legends. So the only big similarity I could find here is that every other attack for B that you land is actually way stronger than the original. And for Jin, every fourth attack is a lot stronger than the rest. Alright, so comparing Nani from Brawl Stars to Lissandra from League of Legends. This was another one where it's really hard to find a close counterpart, but the only similarity we could find is being able to teleport to something that you throw out. So Nani can use her gadget to teleport to her super, and then Lissandra can use an ability to teleport to that exact same ability. So for Mortis, we have Renekton, and at first I was like, who could ever be similar to Mortis, but Renekton actually seems very similar. So at first I was like, okay, Renekton can dash for one of his attacks, and he can do it up to 2 times, but then I realized that Renekton also has a spinning move, where he does 1 spin around him, and it does damage. And I was like, oh yeah, Mortis has that as well, so they're very similar in that way. Alright, so now we're comparing Tara from Brawl Stars to Twisted Fate from League of Legends. And the funny thing here is that they both throw 3 cards, except Twisted Fates are a little bit more spread out, but, you know, same diff, I guess. Alright, so next up, we're comparing Jean from Brawl Stars to Blitzcrank from League of Legends. So the only similarity here is that they are both pulling characters in their games. And League has multiple different people that can pull, but they both have the fastest ones in the game. So next up, we have Max from Brawl Stars compared to Sona, again from League of Legends. Sona is one of the only champions I could find that actually gives a speed boost to her allies and herself. Alright, so I thought Sprout from Brawl Stars was most similar to Anivia from League of Legends. And the reason here is kind of obvious. They can both put up walls. So for Sprout, he can throw the wall, and then it kind of builds a auto-generated wall depending on where you place it. But then for Anivia, her wall is just a straight line, which is pretty nice. So for Sprout from Brawl Stars, we have Morgana from League of Legends. Let me point this out first. There's nobody in League that has any attack similar to Spike's main attack, and the only thing similar between these 2 characters is that Spike's super is a slow field that also does damage, and Morgana has a slow field attack that also does damage. So moving on, we have Crow from Brawl Stars compared to Twitch from League of Legends. There's a handful of people from League that actually do poison damage, and Crow is actually the only brawler in Brawl Stars that does poison damage, and they both have an ability that they can only activate while somebody's poisoned, so I thought that was another similar thing. So next up, we have Leon from Brawl Stars, who is really similar to Shaco from League of Legends. So Leon can turn invisible, and Shaco can also turn invisible, and they can both summon clones of themselves. And the difference here is that Shaco's clone is a lot stronger than Leon's, and it can hit you, and if you kill it, then it stuns you, which is really stupid, and I hate Shaco. So moving on, we have Gale from Brawl Stars compared to 2 different people from League of Legends. So first of all, we have Janna from League, who has an attack that pushes you back. Although Janna's push isn't that far, I thought it was the closest thing, because it can also push multiple people. And then comparing Gale to Ryze, the only similarity here is that they both have an ability that grants a ton of mobility in their game. Gale has a bounce pad, and Ryze has a teleport that he can also bring his teammates with. So we got Surge compared to Vel'Koz from League of Legends. And also, Surge's gadget is the meta spell in League of Legends. Alright, so the final brawler that we can compare to anybody else in League of Legends, this one is going to be Carl from Brawl Stars, who compares to Wukong, Gnar, and Singed from League of Legends. But it's all 3 different attacks here. And then for the brawlers who have no similarity to League and they are completely unique here, we got Sandy, Mr. P, 8-Bit, Daryl, Pam, Tick, Barley, and Rico. All those brawlers are completely unique, and I couldn't find any similarity between them and any of the over 100 characters in League. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This took a really long time to make, so I would appreciate a like and a sub if you're new. With all that being said though, I'll see you later, and have a good night, guys.